Hey folks, this is JR from DIY Prepper, and today I'm going to show you how you can use a pool noodle to help you run an extension cord into your home. So many times when you need to run an extension cord into your home, you either have to jam it into a crack between a door and a door frame, or you need to run it through an open window. There's a couple problems with that. When you jam a cord in between a door and a door frame, over time it can damage the cord, and some cords, like the one I have, it's a 30 amp, they're way too big to even try to do that with. When you run a cord through an open or a cracked window, during the winter, you can let cold air in, and during the summer, you can let cool air out, just making the whole power outage or whatever you're dealing with that much more uncomfortable. Also, it provides mosquitoes a place where they can enter your home, along with other annoying insects and bugs and things like that. And it also gives potential intruders an easy access point into your home. All they got to do is lift up the window, and then they're climbing in. So this video is going to show you how you can use a pool noodle to create an insulated barrier that you can pass an extension cord through. It'll help you keep your home insulated and give less room for bugs to enter your home. And if you do this, it'll be a lot easier to secure your window than if it's just cracked and it can be open and shut real easy. Now, when selecting a pool noodle, try to find a round one with a large diameter, kind of like this one. That'll give it some rigidity when it's in your window, and it'll allow you to pass larger extension cords through it. So the first thing you need to do is you need to measure your window that you're going to be putting this in. Start by opening the window and then measure the distance between the inside of the tracks where the window slides against as it's opening and shutting. So my window is 34.5 inches wide. Now measure that same distance on your pool noodle. Mark it. And then use a sharp knife to make your cut. And you want this to be as straight up and down and side to side as possible. That'll help prevent air gaps once you put it in the window. Now, after you cut the pool noodle to the proper length, determine how thick the extension cord is that you'll be running through the window. This is important because you want the pool noodle to create a tight seal around that extension cord. I will be using a large 30 amp cord that connects my generator to multiple large appliances in my home. Having a cord of this size is important because it's less likely to become overloaded, get too hot, and present a fire hazard. I'm going to use a 9/16 spade bit to make my hole. Placement up and down should be as close to the middle as you can get it, but placement left to right isn't as critical, so I'm going to keep mine a little bit closer to the left so that the cord will go into the house as straight as possible based off of where I know my generator is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to drill a hole. After you have your hole drilled, use a knife to make a slit going from the bottom of the pool noodle all the way to the bottom of the hole that you just made. This slit will allow your extension cord to slide into the hole that you drilled. Next, you need to make 2 vertical slits at each end of your pool noodle. That'll help it set in the window frame a little bit better. Measure the inside of your window frame where the window slides up and down, and then make cuts the same distance apart as that on each end of your pool noodle. Now those cuts, they should be perpendicular to the hole that you drilled. So here's the hole that you drilled. My slits should be up and down from that, okay? And I've already gone ahead, I've already marked this, so I'm gonna turn it just to make cutting it a little bit easier and a little bit safer. And I'm gonna make those cuts. And it's okay if those cuts are just a little bit deeper, maybe than what they need to be, because sometimes those windows are going to have one part of the window frame is going to be a little bit taller than the other. okay? So if you need to make both of those slits a little bit deep, then that is just fine. After you cut those slits on each end, you're ready to insert your pool noodle into the window. Open the window, insert your cord into the pool noodle, line up the slits with the tracks on the window, push it down, and then close the window on top of it, and you should be good to go. If you want to add an additional layer of security to your window, you can always measure the distance between the top of the window frame to the top of the window as it's resting on top of the pool noodle, and then add maybe another 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch and cut 2 pieces of 2x4 to that length, wedge them in between the window and the window frame, and that should make it a little bit more difficult to open. But there's always a chance that you could encounter somebody intelligent who knows that all they got to do is pull that pool noodle out, shut the window, raise it back up. But by that point, if those 2x4s hit the ground, it's going to make a ton of noise. You could also add some window alarms. Usually those are pretty cheap. I think you can get a package of 2 or 3 of them for around $15. If safety is a huge concern, then you can take something like a self-tapping screw, run that into the track where the window slides, and then nobody will be able to open the window past that point. If you're going to use this hack, then you have to remember to not overload your extension cord. When you overload an extension cord, it can overheat and could start a fire. The best way to prevent this is know how many amps that your extension cord can handle, and then also how many amps the appliances that you want to use, how many of those require to run. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope this was useful for you. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. Hope to see y'all back. Thank you.